When a graduate student takes an online course, they join a community inside that classroom. At the same time, the student is a member of and is being affected by communities that lie outside this classroom. For instance, the class and the graduate student belong to an academic department, which has its own community independent of and outside of the class. In a similar fashion, the graduate student belongs to a university, which also has a community outside the class. In this project, we'll ignore community inside the classroom and focus on community outside the classroom to see how it affects learning. What is community? Community is a group of people who interact regularly. Community members convey feelings and ideas through these interactions. Interaction used to be limited to face-to-face contact, but new modes of communication allow interaction even when community members are separated by time or distance. The mode of communication shapes the information that reaches our senses. This means that the mode of communication affects the feelings and ideas a community shares. So why is community important? Researchers have shown that community interaction positively affects learning. Researchers have also shown that online classes lack certain kinds of community interaction available through other modes of communication. Online classes that explicitly add these missing community interactions have a positive effect on learning. Those that don't have a negative effect on learning. If researchers have already studied community, then why do this project? Because researchers have focused almost exclusively on community inside the classroom and ignored the effects community outside the classroom might be having on learning. First, I needed a community to study. Because of its accessibility to me, I used a graduate program in Instructional Design and Technology, IDT, at Emporia State University, ESU. With such an unexplored topic and a limited project time frame, I narrowed the scope of my inquiry down to describing the perceptions and relationships students have with departmental and university community. I designed a 4-page, 46-question survey and tied it to a custom-built database and custom-built data evaluation tools. Using email lists provided by the IDT department chair, I emailed currently enrolled and graduated IDT master's level students and invited them to complete the survey. Using Likert scale items, I asked questions such as, how connected are you to your IDT classmates and professors? How happy are you with your level of connection? How much do you agree with the following? I regularly communicate with my professors outside of class. For both departmental and university community, I wanted to find out 1. How connected did respondents feel to these communities? 2. Were they happy with these levels of connection? And 3. How often did they interact with other community members outside of the classroom? 73 current and alumni students responded to the survey. On questions relating to IDT community, on average, respondents expressed a below-average sense of connection, but expressed an average sense of contentment with this reduced community connection. Respondents contacted professors outside of classes more often and were more likely to develop long-term friendships and professional relationships with professors than with their own classmates. Though a higher interaction was expressed towards professors, this interaction still was below average. Evaluating the same IDT community data and separating respondents into 2 groups, those who had taken all their classes online and those who had 1 or more credit hour of face-to-face instruction, produced notable results. Just a minimal amount of face-to-face contact significantly increased departmental community. Regarding university-level community, respondents reported being even more unconnected to ESU than to IDT, but moderately tolerant of that fact. The fact that respondents feel considerably less connected to ESU than their face-to-face peers is particularly notable since only 2 of the 73 respondents completed more credit hours face-to-face than online. Respondents also reported being more familiar with the name of the ESU mascot than the ESU president. Respondents also said that they would donate money to the university and join the Alumni Association at a below-average level. When ESU community was compared by again breaking respondents into 2 groups, online only versus some face-to-face credit hours, The face-to-face group again reported more connection to community. Project results suggest that online graduate students have a reduced connection to both their academic department and their university communities. A logical next step would be to examine how decreased community outside the classroom might be affecting learning. Different learners will want and need different levels of community. But if the future of online education is to service all learners and not just those who prefer less community, then this topic of community outside the online classroom needs to be more thoroughly researched.
The end.